And welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some linguine with a red clam sauce. Now this is a very simple thing to put together. There are a few different ways that you can do this as well. So I'm going to be using both fresh clams and canned clams today just because I like a more meatier sauce. If you have fresh clams, you could just do that. If you only have canned clams, you can just do that. It'll be up to you. The other thing, if you don't want to make this a red clam sauce and you want a white clam sauce, all you have to do is omit the tomato and that's it. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much the same. I'm going to be using linguine, but if you don't have linguine and maybe you have spaghetti or some other long-ish noodle, go ahead and use that. So here are my fresh clams. Now, they're pretty pristine actually. When I came back from the fish market, as I was cleaning them, I just, there wasn't too much grit, but I did scrub them really well. I let them soak for about 15-20 minutes, and then I changed the water and they're soaking a second time around, and this time I put just a little bit of salt in it, and I've let them kind of sit. I've kind of swirled, like move them around a little bit to agitate them a little, and they are sitting in water, so I will be rinsing them off and using them. And another really simple tip regarding fresh clams, if you've never cooked with them before, if they are open before you cook them, they are to be thrown away in the trash because they're no good. And then afterwards, when they're closed, same thing. They're supposed to be open when they're cooked, and if they're not, they're no good. So for the rest of my ingredients, I am going to be using olive oil, salt and pepper, of course. I have some white wine that I'm going to also add to the sauce. I have some crushed red pepper flake, and this is optional. However, it is really good in this manner, so you can adjust how much or how little you want. And then I have the can of minced clams, and I'm going to be using both the clams and the juice that's in there. I have my linguine, and I'm using about half a pound, and this will be for 2 people, but I think we may have left over. And then I had blanched a couple of tomatoes just because they were about to turn, so I really need to use them. And I blanched them, peeled them, de-seeded them, and already chopped them. And I've got some garlic cloves and a small shallot. To finish, I will be adding a lot of chopped parsley and some lemon juice. So I have my water boiling. I actually want to start with my pasta first because the sauce is not going to take very long. And then to a cold pan, I went ahead and added my olive oil, all of my chopped garlic, and a nice pinch of chili flake. I want to bring this up slowly to a heat so that it can infuse the oil. And then once it does start, as you can see, like it's bubbling, I have some finely minced shallot, and I'm going to just incorporate this and stir it together. And to this, I'm also going to just do a light pinch of salt and a little bit of regular black pepper. And blow my heat a little bit. And you want to gently saute this. And so I like to mince both the garlic and the shallot. This way it just makes a nice sauce. It kind of can go throughout the pasta evenly. Then I've gone ahead and added the tomato, and I just kind of want to get this incorporated together. I don't want the onion or the shallot to burn, so just keep an eye on it and adjust the temperature if you need to. The tomato I have diced up, and it's already been blanched, so again, it kind of had a head start in the cooking process. It's just going to barely tint the sauce red because I only used 2 tomatoes. Then once you have that all together, go ahead let that come up to a bubble. And I'm going to add some wine. And then same thing. You'll just mix this a little bit, let it come to a bubble, and then you're going to add your clams. So I'm going to do the clams and the juice. And I'm going to deal with this first, get that incorporated, and then add my whole clams. So as this is bubbling, you're going to gently add your clams. I would do this all at once, but I don't want it splattering. So I'm just going to add this to my dish and then cover it so that they could steam. So these are all my clams in, and I'm going to cover this for a couple minutes. Okay, so a couple minutes have passed and they're open. Now I want to add my pasta and kind of let it finish cooking. I know this is kind of gonna overwhelm my pan, but oh well. And don't forget all the parsley. This is where you just want to be careful and fold everything together. If you have a bigger pan, of course, you don't have to worry about that, but you do just kind of want to turn this over, get it coated with the sauce, and then serve it. If you feel like your pan is too dry, although mine is not, mine has a sufficient amount of broth, and that's basically because of the wine and the clam juice. You can add a little bit of pasta water, and that will also just kind of get it more saucy. I'm going to be sprinkling some lemon juice as I plate it. Now, if you didn't want to do this with clams, you can do the same preparation with mussels. The other thing is, if you didn't have pasta, you can just, do this with the broth and serve it with some bread, and that is perfectly fine too. But this is really something that you can do for a nice meal in, or just if it's something you like, of course. And the other thing you want to do, you want to spoon all of the broth because it is really, really, really good. This is all we're having for dinner tonight, so, for 2 people, this is plenty. This is something that is best eaten hot, so as soon as it comes off the stove, you want your people to be ready to eat. You want their plates hot. You want them, just to enjoy it. It is delicious, of course. If you don't have fresh clams, don't worry. It still comes out really well. I do not suggest serving this with cheese. You either want to put a little bit more lemon or pepper flake or parsley. Those are going to be your toppings for this because cheese is just not going to work. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have any suggestions, anything you want to see from me, please let me know. Write a comment down below if you'd like to see anything specific, maybe an ingredient, anything you want, and I'll work with it. I will have this recipe described in the description box, so please take a look at that if you'd like, and I'll see you all next time.